In the last video, we worked out a voicing for 2-5-1s in minor that had the root of the 1 chord and the 2 chord on the 5th string, or the A string. Let's work out voicings for 2-5-1 in minor keys that had the root of the 1 and the 2 chord on the 6th string. And the advantage and necessity for having each of these two voicing types is that if you go from key to key, you can move more efficiently and with smoother voice leading without having to move the same shape up or down the better part of 12 frets. Before we were in C minor, and we had a D minor 7 flat 5, G7 with some kind of alteration, and C minor, and we were able to move that up and down the fretboard for various keys. Now let's do the same thing in G minor, which will give us our 6th string root voicing. We're going to have in the key of G minor, we're going to have our 2 as A minor 7 flat 5. Then our 5 chord is going to have some kind of alteration. In this case, it's going to be D7 with a flat 9, then a G minor 7. So this is a good 4-note voicing. So again, it's going to be A minor 7 flat 5, D7 flat 9, G minor 7. Let's figure out what these notes were. It was the root of the 2 chord, flat 7 of the 2 chord, flat 3 of the 2 chord, the flat 5 of the 2 chord. Now the flat 5 on top stays the same when we go to D7, and now it's the flat 9 above D. So it's root 3, flat 7, 9, flat 9. Then it's G minor 7, which is going to be G, flat 7, flat 3, 5. So again, let's do a version where we just had the roots, the thirds, and the sevens. If we just do the roots, the thirds, and the sevens, it's going to be helpful for you to see the guide tones for voice leading purposes. You're not going to get the flat 5 or the flat 9 or the color tones, but it is important to hear and see that motion. So here's our A minor 7 flat 5, D7, then G minor. Now, so that's a 2-note voicing, only thirds and sevens. Let's keep that same thirds and 7 voicing, but with the color tone on top. And I think that this should really be your first call voicing in a group where you have a bass player, so you're not conflicting with his or her bass notes rhythmically or in his or her range. So we have the same thirds and sevens, and now with that flat 5, which is going to be the flat 9 in a second. Here's our A minor 7 flat 5, D7 flat 9, G minor 7. So make sure you can do this voicing, 3-note rootless voicing. And again, in context with a full group, that's just going to put you right in the mix, where in a good spot. Okay, now the voicing that we just did for the 5 chords had the flat 9. If we go a whole step above the flat 9, we get the sharp 9. Root 3, flat 7, sharp 9. Which is another important chord that you'll encounter, and so it's important to be able to do the 2-5-1 with that. So we have A minor 7 flat 5, D7 sharp 9, then G minor. Make sure you can do the rootless voicings for this. Now, the last thing I'd like to share with you on this is when we go to our 1 chord, as we did in the last 2-5-1 to minor video, sometimes the 1 doesn't necessarily have to be minor 7. It could be a minor 6-9. And so we can do that here. Instead of having root, flat 7, flat 3, 5, we could move this to root, natural 6, flat 3, and the 5. So it'd be like this. A minor 7, D7 with one of our alterations, then to G minor 6. And here's our rootless voicing. Now, with the 6 right here, we could move that up to the flat 7 or the major 7. Before I talked about how the minor major chord is an important sound for in jazz, and it kind of implies the melodic minor, which a lot of these minor 2/5 scales are based off of. But the thing is that when we go to a minor chord as a 1 chord, which is another way of saying as a tonic, we could use the 6/9 voicing, or just the regular minor 7 flat 5, minor 7 voicing, or we could raise that 7 to be a major 7, and that sounds great too. So in context, so there's that G minor, but with a major 7, G minor major. Also notice how I actually, instead of just doing either the 5 chord as a flat 9 or the 5 chord as a sharp 9, I actually did both. And so that's something to work out as well. A minor 7 flat 5, D7 sharp 9 to D7 flat 9, just to give some motion, then to either G minor 6 or G minor 7 or G minor major, like this.